You're listening to WIDR Kalamazoo.
This is Live, Loud, and Local, taking listeners inside the best live shows in Kalamazoo and beyond. This is 89.1 WIDR FM. You can listen live on WIDRFM.org.
Listen live. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's get into it. What is the general concept of Listen Live?
What do you mean by that?
What is Listen Live? Or listen... What? I'm sorry, I messed it up. What
No,
is
that's
it?
okay.
Live, loud, and local.
Live, loud, and local.
Oh my God! Did I say Listen Live?
I'm like,
You looked at me so confused. I apologize.
No, that's okay. No, Live, Loud, and Local is, I just want to talk about the house show scene that is going on in Kalamazoo.
Beautiful.
These people, I go to house shows all the time, and that's one of my favorite things to do and like bring my friends to and things along those lines.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so...
Who's talking to us right now?
I'm Karen.
Karen, welcome to 89.1 WIDR FM.
Thank you.
I believe this is your first on-air content, right?
This is my first on-air content.
And you're bringing us the house show content that has been so, it's just been needed here on 89.1 WIDR FM.
Good. I'm so excited to be here talking about it.
I'm excited. I mean, I couldn't imagine a better podcast for Kalamazoo.
So true.
Than a freaking local house show podcast.
I know. The house show scene in Kalamazoo is not anything like I've ever experienced before. And it's to the point where I even go to I'm involved in Ann Arbor house show scene and Lansing house show scene and Grand Rapids because it's all so intertwined, but Kalamazoo really is the home of it.
Yeah, I feel like especially since I moved here recently this is my first year here in Kalamazoo due to just going to school here and moving out here for that. It was my sister really, she went here before I moved out, and
Gotcha.
She was so adamant that I needed to move out here just because I've been a music, I wanted to study music and go to school for sound design and recording arts for a while. And she's like, you gotta get out to Kalamazoo because of the house scene. She was part of it. She knew friends who I believe had a venue and
Yes.
ran a venue. And she was just like, I need to get out here, and Kalamazoo is the home of house shows.
It really is.
The house of house shows.
Yeah.
So what a great new podcast coming to 89.1 WIDR FM.
Yeah. I so agree. Thank you for being on. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, it's Ryan Missek. Folks, you know who it is. You already know. Your production director here. And again, I'm so excited that Karen, when did I first talk to you about this? 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Oh, probably. Yeah, super recently.
And with summer coming up, it's folks, we're getting outside within the next month. Everyone's going to be out. Everyone's going to be enjoying local music and having fun outside again. This is to get you involved and to get you educated on house shows.
Yeah, get you out to the house show so you can mosh and you can sweat in some sweaty vine basement.
Gosh.
There's no better time to do it.
So before we get started, what's one of your favorite memories from house shows recently? Give me one of your favorite memories. Just recent. It could be, I guess, anytime, but.
Well, I kind of want to talk about my first house show that I ever went to and how I kind of got into that scene. So my first house show I went to was in the summer of 2021, and it was kind of it was honestly like a anxiety exposure thing to myself because I was scared to go out in public after the pandemic.
Oh so my gosh, that time. Jeez, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me face a fear. Let me go out and just go to this random thing. And I went and saw Known Orbit.
Orbit.
That's a throwback.
Is that a band?
That's a band.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I saw Lee Cleveland in the Left Hand Band.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Now knowing what I know now, that was a hell of a lineup. That
really?
Was,
oh
my
man.
God. Known Orbit is one of my favorite bands. Neil, who is the front runner of that, such an incredible person. And then Lee Cleveland goes so hard. I've seen Lee perform probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I've even brought he played in Ann Arbor and Detroit, and I brought my sister to the Detroit show, and we were just dancing the entire time. It was just really great music to
follow them around the state, huh?
Yeah,
there you go.
And that was my only house show that I've been to outside, and it was during the day.
Interesting. So in the backyard or something?
Yeah, it was in the backyard of somebody's house.
Word up! Hey, that sounds like a blast.
It was so much fun, and kind of my favorite memory of that is people had their beverages, And
they do, right?
As they do. And I was the only one who has a bottle opener on my keys.
Oh, you getting requests all night, huh?
Oh my God.
Let me borrow that.
There were so many people. There were people walking around. They're like, "Do you have a bottle opener?" And I was the only one who had a bottle opener.
And you know I have one. Someone probably told you I had one. That's why you over here anyway. So
exactly.
just ask me for it.
So I'm like, "Hey, I have a bottle opener." And as someone who has never been there and didn't know anybody, it was such a kind of a cute way to like.
You're the hero at a party.
Yeah. So that's kind of my favorite memory of a house show.
That's dope.
But there was also another time I was like dressed up as Barbie, like
okay.
full pink, full. It was a Halloween show, and there were people moshing, and it was such a powerful thing because there's an etiquette when it comes to moshing, and it's you don't mosh with people that don't want to mosh. And there was this guy who was trying to mosh with people who didn't want to mosh, and I had to push him away, and I literally gave him the middle finger, and it was such like a powerful moment of like pink Barbie skimpy outfit type of, but just
letting
like
them have it, right?
Stop, don't do that. And then the band, the next song was even like, make sure to only mosh with people who want to mosh. Making sure about that. So
safety's a factor when it comes to these shows, right?
It really is. You can get real hurt real fast.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something we'll talk about in this.
Definitely.
So I'm glad you had me on the show just because of how, I don't want to say oblivious, but I'm new to the area.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the house show scene. I've never been to a house show before.
We got to change that.
It feels like I'm really being educated with all of you as well. So, Karen, how and where do I find these house shows locally in Kalamazoo?
So everything goes through Instagram.
Everything's through Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
It's a very...
Anywhere else but Instagram?
This show? That's
this
about
show,
it.
Understood.
Yeah.
Got you. Listen,
and then
there you go, folks. You heard it.
And then I know on the WIDR website, we have some stuff that's like posted on our website.
Okay, yeah.
But it's very much just like a list. Too. It's not you can
contact or
anything. No contact, no things along those lines. So it's all through Instagram.
All through Instagram, through, I would assume, a DM? You
Okay. So yeah. So
keep going. Yeah, you keep diving me in here.
So how they usually do it is bands, like local bands who are going to be playing shows, post posters. And it's usually by like a local artist who makes it, or one of their friends or somebody in the band, very like low budget, not anything fancy, but like makes a poster and then posts it.
On their Instagram?
On their Instagram.
Okay.
And then usually the houses also have Instagrams, that kind of show of like, that they kind of run as venues of, hey, we're going to have all these people here on these dates. So it's just a finding like the bands and the houses
and the corresponding houses.
Yes.
And then putting the two together. Understood.
Yeah. And then you just follow all of them and it'll just be coming up back on your feed. If you follow me on Instagram, Karen.Lars, I post posters all the time on my Instagram stories.
Reposts?
Yes.
Oh, got you.
And that's usually how the
news
word
spreads.
Yeah, the word gets out is people just like share the post on their Instagram stories.
Understood. So as you meet people at these events, you then learn about other events through the cross posts that they post as well.
Yes, exactly.
Big. And that is, I assume, why the community is such a fun and enjoyable place to be.
Yes.
Because everyone just wants to have fun and just rage out at a bunch of different places, hearing a bunch of different bands.
It really is.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
And I can't tell you how many house shows I go to where I hadn't heard of a single person that was playing. I've been to house shows where I knew every single person that was playing. So it's very different. It depends on like you literally just like walk into somebody's house and nobody's there to greet you and there are no signs and you just find the basement.
You just go with the flow, right?
Yeah,
is that the
it
deal?
really is. That's kind of the house show that I went to yesterday as of time of recording this. I went to the back rooms yesterday.
I've heard of the back rooms.
The back
rooms? This is one of the ones I've heard of.
I love the back rooms.
I've heard great things about just about every venue.
Yeah, the back rooms is kind of the reiteration. If you've heard of the Irish Goodbye, that's kind of the reiteration of it since they like moved houses, but it's still like very similar people that run it.
Okay.
Yeah, Backrooms is one of the most popular ones, but I really, really like the Backrooms. The people there are really nice.
Great. So you find these bands that play at the house shows and the venues on Instagram.
Yes.
And they post the posters of events with dates and the lineups.
Yes.
And the venue, but where do you find these places? Like how do you know the address? Because I know they post the name, but not the address.
Yes. So to get the address, you either have to DM the house and ask for the address, because that's not public information, because
Of course.
people live there.
I mean, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be doxing these people.
Exactly.
That's, I mean, a major liability to the homeowners.
Yes.
For sure.
So you either DM the house, and that's kind of the best way to do it, because the house only has one address. But you can also, most of the time you can
From the
DM,
source too, right?
Yeah, you can, most of the time you can DM the bands that are going to be playing that show. And yeah, if there's no address listed, that's kind of like an underlying, you DM the house.
Got you.
Like, figure out when that's going to go on.
And I know as like I don't want to say an outsider, but from one who really would like to get involved more, I don't want to say it's discouraging that there's no address there, but it almost seems like I don't want to feel like I'm going into a place where I'm not invited.
Mm-hmm.
That seems.
Yeah.
What is the stigma behind reaching out to these bands and artists and being like, hey, I really want to get involved, but you may not know me and I don't know you. Like, is it open invite? Is it, you get where I'm...
It really is open invite.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
as long as you're respectful and know how to not be a dick, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you're invited. Like, that's how
Even fresh out the gate.
Even fresh out the gate.
You don't know, but no friends, nobody who, like, do you have to have an in? Do you have to know somebody?
No.
Okay.
I started going to house shows because I saw a poster, and then I DM'd and I said, hey, what's the address? And I showed up. I showed up with no beer. I showed up with
no gifts.
No gifts, no
offerings.
Nothing. It's a very traditional thing that you donate to the house / you donate to the touring bands.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
I mean,
like,
to support your local music and
exactly.
your venues, of
so,
course.
like, if you're nervous about it, give them $5 and they'll be, oh my God, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
But,
Understood.
The Vine and house show culture thrives on people coming and showing up.
And you just said the Vine? Is that what I heard correctly? What is the Vine? Because I mean that term is synonymous with house shows.
Yes.
From what I know. Yet it's almost like an entity of its own.
Yeah.
Is it not? Would you say?
It really, really is.
So run the viewers on what the Vine is.
So the Vine is referencing the Vine neighborhood in Kalamazoo. There's a lot of student housing there and a lot of older homes. And kind of within these older homes, the basements are unfurnished basements, but they're big enough to host a venue, to host a band, to have people jump around. You may be jumping
a basement,
exactly,
and put some speakers with some equipment and drums and whatnot, right?
Yeah, literally, like that's how it is. It's like you're standing next to somebody's washing machine, or you're standing next to the heater, and then there's a band 3 feet away from you, and you're crammed in the corner. And like for really, really popular shows, like there are times you're elbow to elbow with people, but even the show I was at yesterday, like there was 25, 30 people there, and there was definitely enough room to dance and stuff like that. But so the Vine is referencing like the Vine neighborhood in Kalamazoo, where the majority of these type of shows go on. It's not all of them. The Runoff is kind of on the edge of Vine, and it isn't its like traditional Vine venue, but most of them take place in Vine.
Yeah, so the Kalamazoo district, as I know, has certain neighborhoods within it, and the Vine is a historic one for house shows. If I am correct,
I would say so.
Say it's probably the most popular neighborhood to host these house shows. What other neighborhoods also typically host house shows?
Honestly,
just the Vine, or is there other ones?
Yeah, no. There's honestly the Vine is like the main one when you're talking house show stuff. If you kind of go like up like one level, like corporately, there's Papa Pete's, that's downtown Kalamazoo, that hosts bands, and then there's things like Bell's Brewery that also hosts bands. But when you're talking like kind of traditional, you are in a basement, you pay no cover, you bring your own beer. Vine is like the neighborhood.
The neighborhood, understood. Yeah. Got you. Again, a synonymous term with these house shows. Ever since I moved here, I heard house show, and then I heard Vine right after it. So it gets locked in.
Yeah, very hand in hand.
And what is this Vine neighborhood like? Like, how would you describe this neighborhood?
So I'm a photographer on top of being like a music goer. And
creative in nature, huh?
Oh my goodness, tell me about it. I have if there's something creative, I've probably done it. Gotcha. Currently failing at crocheting, but so if anyone knows how to crochet well, please
still
teach
trying
me.
It, right?
Still trying. But Oh man, what was the question? I'm just like getting on.
It was the Vine neighborhood. How
yes.
describe it? Describe the Vine neighborhood.
So,
you hear about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been there once. Like,
You've only been to the Vine once?
I've only been to and I went to Crow's Nest.
Oh, that's that is like the most popular place to go in Vine.
It was good. It was really good.
It is really good. I love Crow's Nest.
I've been a couple times because Coley, our general manager, is involved with the Vine scene. So.
Yes. Yeah, so Vine is really just like this historical group of houses. It's definitely like definitely a lot of blocks, but it's
big,
yeah, they're older homes. A lot of them are painted really funky colors, and I know that there was a grant, like a Kalamazoo grant of like beautifying the Vine.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of history when it comes to like upgrading houses and making them pretty and things along those lines. So a lot of them are painted really funky colors. Like there's one house on Vine, I don't remember what street it's on, but it's like hot pink.
Oh,
and that's one of my favorite houses.
Characteristic to these houses, though, right?
Yeah,
that's the point.
It's really to like make them stand out.
Hey,
and I bring out photography because I did a photography series where I kind of went and photographed
all the Vine houses, or
bunch of, like some of my favorite Vine houses on 120 film on my Mamiya RB67. But
I don't know what any of that means, but for you photo freaks, I know you got that locked down.
Exactly. Maybe we'll have to talk about it more at some point, but I definitely know way too much about film photography.
A film episode?
Yeah, film episode.
I keep messing up the name.
Live, Loud, and Local.
Loud. I keep thinking of Live, Laugh, Love for some reason. I don't know why. Every time I think of the name of this podcast, it goes right to that.
That's so funny, though. With my name being Karen.
Triple L.
Hosted by Karen.
And Karen.
It definitely could be.
I don't know about that, but Live, Loud, Local. That's what it's called.
Live, Loud, Local.
Live, Loud, Local. Get that locked in. Live, Loud, Local, locked in.
Perfect.
Quad L. So you DM the venue or the band, and it's usually going to be typically around or near or in the Vine neighborhood.
99% of the time it will be there.
You pull up to this beautiful, historic, characteristical, just everything beautiful about this place. You go into the house. What do you expect from the show? When you go to a house show, what do you expect?
So there'll definitely be people smoking a doobie on the porch.
Oh, you'll smell it before you
smell
hear it. Or do you hear it before you smell it? Which is the one?
Oh, you definitely smell it, because it depends if they start on punk time or not.
On punk time, okay.
Yeah, punk time
I don't know that. There's some lingo we're gonna have to describe for our folks listening.
So punk time kind of refers to like, doors at 7, music at 8, but music realistically doesn't start until 8:45, 9. Where it's like
everyone's warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, everyone's like consuming and getting all ready for the show. And then once band is kind of ready to go, then that was definitely that happened yesterday when I went to the back rooms. And the show that I went to at the back rooms yesterday was the one on April 23rd, where it was Molly O'Malley, Runaway Brothers, and Kiss Your Friends.
Runaway Brother.
Yeah. And they definitely started on punk time. It was like 8:45 before.
Warmed it up, huh?
It really was.
Yep.
So yeah, punk time just refers to like them. It says music at 8, but it'll be a while. It'll be later. So
yeah. Always takes a minute. Right?
Always takes a minute. But yeah, so you walk in, someone's smoking a doobie on the porch.
Doobie on a porch.
No one will greet you. So
too many people, or I assume, or how many people usually are there?
It really depends who's playing.
Understood.
So if there's a band like Saturdays at Your Place, which is probably my favorite Kalamazoo house show band.
Big name coming out of Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo. Those guys are doing some incredible stuff. They're like on tour and are playing, all over the Midwest at this point. They're doing some
Midwest
great
tour,
stuff.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely big Midwest tour. I think they have something like 60,000 followers on Spotify at this point.
The monthly listeners.
The monthly listeners.
They just dropped that. Was it EP?
It was an album.
Was it an album? Oh, nice.
Yeah. Always Cloudy in Kalamazoo? Is that what it was called? I'm gonna look it up right now.
No Sleep. They just got that new record deal.
Yeah.
No Sleep record deal.
Yeah. They're
big. That's big.
Saturdays at Your Place. I guess it is an EP. Always Cloudy. It's the one with a girl on the front. Yeah.
She's smoking a cig or no?
I think it's like a lighter or a flashlight.
Yeah. It's a cool picture, grainy, right?
Yeah. It's I think it was taken on film too.
I think they tweeted about the girl who is in that album picture,
Yes.
which showed up to one of their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool tweet, actually. I saw that.
Yeah, so Always Cloudy, that EP. Saturdays is doing great stuff. Yeah, just
Yup.
under 60,000 monthly listeners.
Dang.
So if
Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up.
So if they're in Kalamazoo and they're playing a show, it's going to be packed.
Packed. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but even if it's like a Friday or a Saturday night, that also plays into it. What else is going on?
Time of the week and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is there a certain venue that is typically more popular than others, or is there like a tier list when it comes to these venues?
Not super. I would say about the
They're all on the same range and the same.
Yeah, about the only tier you can give is Backrooms has been around for a while. They used to be the Irish Goodbye, and I think that was around for either a year or two. But usually there's kind of like reiterations of it, of like as people move in and out of places, like there's like a lull period of, oh no, there's no houses, but then they like once they're moved in, they kind of pop back up and they either pop up with new names, same names. It kind of depends. There's not a super hierarchy. There's new houses popping up at any point.
Good.
And
dropping out, I guess, too.
Dropping out too.
I guess it could always, it depends on the time, and like you said.
Yeah. But that's part of the best part of like the house show Kalamazoo culture is if you got a house, if you got a basement, you can host bands.
And people will show up and have fun.
And people will show up. Make an Instagram, get it shared by 3 people, and people are showing up.
Make whatever name you want, make a little graphic for something and post it. No, I mean, from what I've seen, because I mean, what you've described so far seems exactly like what I've heard in and out, and how, like the exact route you need to do to get involved.
Yes.
So, I mean, the Instagram, all of them are like, they almost are, I don't want to say identical, but they seem to run in a certain format to where it seems once you understand the process, it's pretty easy to just consistently stay involved.
Yeah, once you understand the process of one, you really understand kind of what it is.
All of them. It seems like a great system that these house shows have just like adopted and ran with.
True. And each house definitely has their own personality. Like, Cat's Cradle is definitely not the same as Hellhole.
I guess for you listeners who don't understand it with me, we'll know soon enough, right?
Yeah.
We'll know soon enough once we get out there.
So your homework, listeners, is to get yourself to a fucking house show.
Yeah, get an Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram, you need one.
You need an Instagram.
Get an Instagram loaded. It could be a fake Instagram. It could be
when like there's no profile picture. Don't post on anything.
And then just follow these local venues and artists, and you're able to just reach out if you're interested in going to their show.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw out some venue names just so you could like look them up and kind of get a little cheat sheet.
I want to see which ones I know and which ones I don't know.
Okay, so the Runoff, love the Runoff, and I love everything that they do over there. They're the one that's like not in a traditional, it's in the basement, but they have all their stuff in their garage. And they do traditional house show stuff, but they also do a lot of like metal and screamo stuff. I haven't been to a metal or screamo show there.
Gotcha.
Usually that stuff kind of scares me.
I could imagine they go hard over there.
They go hard over there. Yeah.
Might have to tune in one time or something.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Factory Coffee is one that's kind
Factory Coffee.
Yeah,
I've heard of that, but not. I feel like it's one of the ones I don't hear about the most.
Yeah, Factory Coffee isn't a venue; it's an actual coffee shop.
You were telling me about this.
Yeah, it's kind of emerged into like they're starting to host people there and bands there, and I kind of like how they're doing that and kind of getting into it. Like they're not trying to be a house show venue, but they're trying to like stick their toe in of like, oh, here's also another kind of option type of deal. Yeah. So look out at Factory Coffee because they're definitely doing some kind of cool stuff. Glow House is another one.
Glow House rings a bell.
Yeah. Cat's Cradle is one. Bell's Backroom and Bell's.
Bell's Backroom. I've never been.
Bell's Backroom is really cool.
Is it dope?
Yeah.
It looks nice from the little crack you can see behind the bar.
Yeah. Bell's Backroom, it's like an event space, but then they also, it's one of those ones where you need a certain amount of Instagram or Spotify listeners to like book it or whatever.
Oh, but sure. And it probably costs money to book it.
I bet it costs money too. I went and I saw Mighty Big Rig there, and they're not like a college age. They're more like all the people are like in their 30s.
Yeah, for sure. Professional musicians, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot more, especially at Bell's with the beer garden.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because then there's the back rooms for when it's cold in the beer garden, when it's so nice out. I went and I saw the Mountain Goats with my boyfriend there.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my God. I think that was one of my top 3
outside,
shows.
Or what?
Yeah, it was outside.
Nice weather?
It was really nice weather.
Nice.
And it's really...
At Bell's, too.
At Bell's.
You can't go wrong with a Bell skis.
And then it's like, oh my God, okay, I guess I'll get an Oberon. I guess I'll get an official. Like...
Yeah, and then, yep. Then, hey, you're the place for it, right?
It really is. And then Backrooms I mentioned again, which is formerly the Irish Goodbye. And then if you're looking like outside of Kalamazoo, the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a great venue.
Yeah. And then we got...
They do like big artists too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then we got the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids, which Pyramids, and then Loving Touch in Grand Rapids. And those are 2 venues that some of the bigger people from Kalamazoo make their way up there. Like Saturdays has played both at the Pyramid Scheme and at Loving Touch.
Got you. I think Quasi's did too.
I think Quasi's did too. So that's kind of a, if you're more the traditional, like you want to go to a bar and go see a show.
A venue or like a structured venue.
Yeah, like a structured venue. You buy a ticket. Yeah. Those shows probably didn't cost more than $15 either anytime that I've gone.
You said Papa Pete's does stuff around
Papa
KSU too.
Yeah.
Any other downtown venues that you know of? Besides Bell's, I know Bell's.
Yeah, honestly, Papa Pete's and Bell's. And I was talking to one of my friends about this recently. I think kind of how Vine venues popped up is because there are no like, not low tier, but not like unknown artist venues.
Accessible venues, would you say?
Yeah. Besides Papa Pete's. And
not even Bell's, I would say, as an accessible venue, right?
Yeah,
would you say that?
Yeah, like accessible, quote unquote. But like there aren't any like Blind Pigs. There aren't anything along those lines in Ann Arbor. So I think this kind of popped up as a
out of necessity.
Out of necessity, I almost feel.
And that shows you the will of the people, folks. Especially the musicians, these great musicians out. And I mean, like, Kalamazoo has some great local artists that if you aren't going to see their local house shows, their most raw stuff, then don't go see them when they sell out stadiums.
So true.
Don't go see it. Don't. Because you had the opportunity to do it here, and you didn't.
Yeah.
So why go see him at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
When you could have saw him at the back rooms or wherever.
Yeah, you could have saw him at the back rooms for free, bought a t-shirt for $15, gave him a beer.
And talked to him after, yeah.
And talked to him after, and they were so excited.
Yeah. I mean, there's there's just so many great talents here.
There really, really is.
And that gets me to there's so many people obviously involved in this music scene. Is there any names I need to know of? Like, besides probably just venues, I would assume?
Yeah.
The only names you need to know?
Honestly, venues are the big ones. And
but there's no general manager of the house scene or three members who run all the scene, the whole neighborhood or whatnot. Nothing like that.
It's very...
No big boss.
There's no big boss. It's very not centralized. It's very not corporate in that aspect. And there's plus and minuses of that.
Okay, understood.
But I kind of love it that there's not there's one dude. There's not. It's every house show is run independently, and they take inspiration from each other and things along those lines. But
great,
it's all about them. So if you know houses, you know the people that you're supposed to know.
Great. So that's how you reach out to the venues.
Yes, that's the big way to do it.
Sweet. And when it comes to these shows where you may not know people and there's gonna be a lot of people crammed into maybe a small space. Mm-hmm. What's the best way to stay as safe as possible out at these local house shows?
So first thing to know is know your limits when it comes to anything that you're consuming.
Understood.
Don't take anything from anybody else. This is, of course, even bars and stuff like that. Make sure your drink is covered, things along those lines. Yeah. But I've also been to so many house shows sober. And even my show that I went to yesterday, I had a Liquid Death on me, and that's all I had.
A Liquid Death.
Because I was there by myself, and I had to drive myself home and things along those lines. So just in that regard, just make sure you're comfortable before you go kind of into anything along those lines.
For sure.
Make sure if you want to mosh, make sure that you're okay with moshing.
You're comfortable, healthy and whatnot, and you're no broken leg and you're still trying to mosh or whatnot.
I went to it wasn't a house show. It was at the Blind Pig though, with one of my friends, and he went in and like maybe 30 seconds later he came out. There was 4 people in this mosh pit, and 30 seconds later he came out, blood dripping from his nose, and he was like, and I'm like, and my sister was there too, and we were all like, what do we do? But as long as you know what you're getting yourself into with that, if you don't want to mosh, you don't have to mosh. That's not a thing. A lot of venues are really good about like, hey, if you're moshing, go to that corner. If you're not, come over to this corner.
And yelling at moshers. I know you had said a story about that.
And like when people fall, people will pick you up.
Got you.
That's people don't...
Looking out for each other, right?
Yeah.
Big part of the show?
Yeah, that really is a big part of the show when it comes to Kalamazoo house show stuff.
How about keeping your ears protected? Do these shows ever get too loud?
Oh, if you're in concrete basements...
Yeah, I can imagine the reflections aren't the prettiest, but it
is constantly way too loud.
Okay.
I have 3 pairs of earplugs on me at all times.
It's a word I was waiting to hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
If there's some bands that have earplugs too, don't rely on that.
For sure.
Bring your own earplugs, and even if it's
buy a set of your own is the key. Yeah. Is getting a few sets.
Even if it's like the cheapo like styrofoam ones or whatever, like sometimes you're 2 feet away from that speaker.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a big concern for me, at least, being an audio dude. I gotta take care of those ears, folks.
Oh, you got it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get that back.
Plus, you want to keep listening.
Exactly.
And you want to keep listening safely, so get a pair of earplugs and whatnot.
I've been thinking about investing, because I still use like the styrofoam earplugs. I've been thinking about investing into like a nice pair of like earplugs.
I'm sure there's so many different... I mean, just anything I'm sure helps, though, right?
Anything helps,
even if it's a pair of like earmuffs.
Yeah, true.
Just take care of yourself, for sure.
Yes. If you go to anywhere in the Vine, those basements are concrete. It will be loud. I can guarantee you it will...
loud.
Expect loud. Worst comes to worst, you just don't put your earplugs in. I don't recommend that. But like, prepare for you to be standing 3 feet away from the speaker, because that was me yesterday. That will happen. That has happened to me on multiple... It'll hurt, and your ears will be ringing after, and that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good, folks. But even if it's fun, protect them ears.
Yes.
We want to keep using them.
Yeah, exactly.
But anything else on safety regard? Like, just obviously a sober driver if you need to take a trip out to the house.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, like how do you get to the show? Typically you walk, you park somewhere and walk. These places have parking.
So Vine is terrible when it comes to parking.
Yeah.
And there's all the do not park on this side of the road from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.
and whatnot,
on these certain days, and they're so complicated to read. I usually drive myself. I also don't mind like driving my friends or whatever, because I know my limits, and I'm of age, and I know how to handle myself in that regard.
Just responsibility. Yep, it's key.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, hey, if you got to sit in your car for half an hour, chill out, drink a liquid IV.
Yeah,
do that.
You just do what you got to do.
Yeah. So plan on street parking. Plan on walking a bit, especially if you're coming like punk time.
Punk time, got you.
Yeah, because it's not like you can park in their driveways or anything along those lines, because most of the time they don't even have enough room to park in their own driveways.
Yeah.
So plan on street parking. Make sure you're looking at signs to make sure you don't get towed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'll be walking a block and a half sometimes.
Okay. Gotcha. So get them walking shoes on.
Get them walking shoes.
And then these shows usually last how long?
It depends how many people are on the list.
Got you.
And it all depends. Sometimes there's 3 bands, sometimes there's 5. Most of the time it ends up being like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm just thinking about the show yesterday. Doors opened at 7, music at 8. Music realistically started at 8:45, and I think I left there at around 11:30, and I didn't even stay for the entirety of the last band.
Gotcha. Snuck out a little bit early.
Bit early.
Sometimes we just got it's Sunday night. Jeez.
I know.
Jeez.
And I was to the point I'm like, I'm so socially tired. I can't do this anymore.
Like that. And that's fine.
That's fine.
And that's the point is if you ever feel like you want to get out, then you just get out.
Yeah.
Right? You tired, you go home.
Yeah, you don't lose any money. There are people like at these house shows that stay in the living room the entire time. They don't even go down to the basement.
They're just there for fun. Like
they're there to socialize.
The community, right?
Yeah.
Would you say is a great and big aspect of the house scene?
100%. It's frat party in the way that like people are standing around drinking or whatever, but then there's also like the personalities that are there are very different than what you would normally see at like a house
just
or a
a
frat
mix
show.
of everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. But then like people do just sit on the couch in this person's living room the entire time. There are people selling art upstairs and they just sit there the entire time. People are outside consuming and don't even like make it down to the basement. But all of that is completely
just having
fine.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's all about having fun.
And truly like it was like 2 songs into the last band yesterday and I left. And like that was it. And that was okay. I didn't have to.
And that was okay, right?
And that was okay.
Sometimes it is okay.
Yes. You don't have to stay the entire time.
Especially when like you said, it's free, fun, and local stuff.
Yeah.
Like even if it's coming for not even 30 minutes, support your shows.
True.
And whatnot. And that's I'm glad this podcast is here because I'm uneducated. I'm sure there's plenty other who are uneducated and want to be on this topic, and now we have a resource to get you involved and keep you involved.
Yes, exactly.
So I know you've been talking. Where do you think? Because I haven't been to a house show.
Yeah.
Where do you think I should go first? Where do you think my house show card should be stolen? Where do I need to go to get the best intro experience?
So I think a house, not a Papa Pete's, not a.
So no venue.
Probably not a venue.
Obviously a house. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to start with the house.
And I honestly think any house you can get to.
Really, any house?
Because
they're all the same, right?
Every show is so different from each other, but the energy and the vibe of the people that are there, like, are very, very similar.
Just don't matter, huh?
It really doesn't matter. I think it's whatever you can get to first, go.
Great. And these people, you typically tend to see them at each and every show. A different mix of them, huh? I bet.
Definitely.
Seeing a handful of some person from a show last Saturday, you'll see him this next Sunday, but it's a different handful another day.
Yeah, because I saw my friend Carl, who's at so many different shows, and then I saw my friend Jonathan, who runs Hellhole.
Yes, another venue. Yeah.
I even saw Dan, who's
my assistant.
Yeah.
Dan, production assistant.
Yeah,
Dan,
and he was there. And
oh my god.
So like you see such a different variety of people, and like if you go and if you're a face that people recognize, people are like, okay, who are you? And they'll talk to you.
They'll talk to you, and
you can talk to them, and you're like, hey, I've seen that you've been at the last 4 shows I've been at. Who are you?
Who are you? let me just get your name. And because these are nice and genuine people.
Yes, they are.
Get involved and join the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share with these people for Live, Loud, and Local?
I want to talk about the shows that I went to this week.
Oh, run the weekend, Karen. Yeah, run the weekend.
Okay, so on Saturday, I went to this Davis Street Park Kalamazoo Earth Day show. Music was from 5 to 7, and it was at the Davis Street Park at 901 Davis Street. This one, it doesn't happen all the time, and it was more, let's see, there were a bunch of people from the Vine Historical Society there. I think that's what it is.
I have no clue.
But then there was like a food truck there. So the people that performed were Headband Henny, Santonio Jones, and Buddha Haddad.
Oh.
I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Not sure.
Buddhahand.
Ooh.
I didn't end up staying for that one because it was rainy. It was cold.
It's a nasty weekend this weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah. I didn't wear a jacket. That was on me though.
Oh yeah.
I only had my sweat.
Was it raining or snowing?
Kind of both.
A little both, yeah.
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 And it was just cold. Yeah, the food truck, I walked there and I immediately was hungry, so I went and got food.
But you said Headband was there.
Headband was there.
You catch a bit of Headband?
Oh yeah, I caught most of Headband.
Great artist.
And then I also saw that Pib and Shankool, Pib and Shankool.
Yeah.
Those are people that are regular house show people, and I saw them. I think they were performing with Headband. And
when at
Davis.
At the Earth Day?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they were all there. So that was really cool to see them again. I've seen, those are some familiar faces that you're going to see everywhere.
Without a doubt. Again, just you typically hear the same names in the house show scene, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you go to enough, you start recognizing people from their Instagram handles and
the names, the funky names they got.
Yeah, definitely. I hope to be one of those people for y'all. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, do you want people to stop and say hi, right?
Oh, please come say hi. And please, if you've ever listened to my podcast, come and tell me that, because I think that's going to be so cool. And then we're automatically friends.
Then be a guest as well.
And then
then you can be a guest.
Yeah, and then I'll be, okay, so come on my podcast.
Okay, come on the pod. Come on the pod.
Even me yesterday, I was like, hey, so I'm part of WIDR. Do you want to be on my podcast?
You want to be on my... Good. Do that. Without a doubt.
And I've been DMing people and stuff.
Get them on.
Definitely.
Get them on.
So then yesterday, I went to the back rooms, and this was the show on April 23rd on Sunday. And as I said before, it was Molly O'Malley, Runaway Brothers, and Kiss Your Friends. Molly O'Malley and Runaway Brothers, I think they had like one addition between Molly O'Malley and Runaway Brother. Just like people-wise, but it was mainly all the same people. I loved Runaway Brother.
Good.
Runaway Brother was so cool.
What type of genre?
It was like, let's see, I have it in my notes app.
The notes, pull out the notes. That's how you know you care about your house scene, right? You taking notes on them.
So true.
So true.
It's because I went outside afterward, and I heard somebody say this as we were walking out. They're like, the guitars were so washy. It was so good.
So washy.
So washy. And I'm like, that's
descriptive.
Exactly. So I had to write that down. Yeah, I really, really liked Molly O'Malley because they had a female singer. And you don't see a lot of like female-led people in the house show scene.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so male-dominated in regards to that. So that was a really nice...
Something you hope to see change, obviously.
Please.
Have you seen it change recently?
No.
No,
I think I've seen like 2 or 3. I see it more in Ann Arbor, where there's, I'm thinking a band called Riot Course. Oh my God. I could listen to them all day. I went and I saw them with my sister, and yeah, they're female-led, and they're like, actually like, they're like rocky.
Oh, word up.
And they were incredible. But when it comes to like Kalamazoo, it's very male-run.
For the moment.
Hopefully that changes. Would love to see that change.
Hey, diversity is crucial just to get a hold. Especially just so many great female vocal talent. Not even just vocal, just female talent out here.
So true.
So many great music talent in general.
Exactly. Let's see. So then Runaway Brother, a lot of the members were the same from the first band. Yeah, I'd say like Midwest emo with like kind of some interesting drums going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely some screaming of like and I'm like, okay, very Midwest emo. I can appreciate this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then there were definitely some like rock influences and like heavy guitar, interesting things going on. There's a little mosh pit the last song, but it was a Sunday and not a whole lot of people were interested in the mosh pit, so that
tired out from the weekend.
Yeah, so that kind of died down real quick. But there was an attempt. There was an attempt. The vibe
an
just
attempt
wasn't
at a
there.
last song mosh.
Yeah. And then Kiss Your Friends. Yeah, I only stayed there for a few songs because I was so socially tired. Take care of yourself at these house shows, y'all.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, but
don't overwork yourself.
Don't overwork yourself. But one of the biggest things that I noticed was the bass guitar had "Hell Yeah" etched into like the physical guitar.
And it was like with a knife or something.
Yeah, and it just said like "Hell Yeah."
Word up, man.
So I thought that was really funny. Taurus Mercury was a really good song by them that I really liked.
Taurus Mercury, nice.
Yeah, and they were like more chill than both Molly O'Malley and Runaway Brothers.
Good little ending.
Yeah,
and a closing out act. Kinda.
I would say so. And then they're currently on tour. They started their tour at Stoop Fest in Lansing.
Ooh.
That's a big DIY festival that goes on in Lansing.
Stoop Fest.
That I didn't even know about until yesterday.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've been in this scene for however long, and I didn't even know Stoop Fest was a thing.
Well,
so we'll be going next year.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And yeah,
that's stupid.
And Kiss Your Friends is currently on tour. I think all over Midwest. I'll have to double check that. But they're currently on tour, and I recommend. The vibe was great there.
Good
I really,
vibes.
Really liked it.
Good vibes. That's what we like here at 89.1.
Yes. And then for the song that I kind of want to shout out this week is going to be "Kissing" by Runaway Brother. Hopefully we can put a little bit of it in the end of this podcast.
Send me that.
Yeah, I will.
Text me or just email me what the song is.
Yeah.
Do you think they're comfortable with us putting it in?
Yeah. I asked them yesterday, and they're like,
I doubt they would care. or like be mad.
Don't promote
Don't
us.
promote me. Yeah, literally. Don't give me views or don't give me.
Yeah.
Don't put it on air.
No, but Kissing by Runaway Brother, I really liked that. And they played that live yesterday, and I was like, yep, this is the song I'm recommending.
Shouting it out. Hey, that's what we love.
Yeah. And then just to go over the shows that are happening this next week, on April 29th, we have another Backrooms show.
Okay.
Where it's going to be, I want to go because of Fiscus. I love Fiscus. But Squatch and then Carbon Decoy and fellow Kingsmen are also going to be performing. So you got FICUS for Fiscus, and then SQUATCH for Squatch. And then Carbon Decoy is spelled normally, and then fellow Kinsman, FELLOWKINSMAN. And then that's going to be on April 29th. Doors are at 7. DM Backrooms for address.
DM Backrooms.
Yes. Oh, love Backrooms. And then on May 2nd, because as much as I want to keep this house show related, I have one heck of a summer that's coming up for me in shows.
Word.
So on May 2nd, I'm going to be going to the Father John Mitzi show.
Okay.
And then I know our GM is also going to be going to that show.
Chloe did talk about that.
And so I'll definitely be talking about, I think I'm going to have hopefully some of my friends come on and we'll talk about the Backrooms show. And then Father John Mitzi, I think I'm going with my boyfriend for that.
Oh, word.
Or no, I know I'm going with my boyfriend for that.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Well, I'll definitely have him on and we'll talk about how that goes. Do you have any other thoughts? Do you have any other questions to wrap this up?
I think you answered just about every question that I have getting into these house shows.
Perfect.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to have more questions about my first house show when I go to one.
Yeah.
So, I think you just told us about some great shows coming up, and I'll have to take a look and see what I am interested in.
Perfect.
And you should as well. So, WIDRFM.org has an events page with the local house shows that are going on. Take a look at the events page on the website there, and you can take a look at all the venues. But again, you just say follow them on Instagram, right?
Truly.
Hit the Instagram, hit them in DMs, and put notifications on them so you know when they post.
Yes.
And follow them bands too, right?
Yeah, follow the bands.
Follow the bands.
Because that's how you find out about different venues.
That's how you find out, and you find out about their music dropping too, and where they're going, and what they're doing, and all that stuff. And how about you, Karen? Anything else you want to close out?
I would say I got my little intro, but otherwise I think I'm chilling. This was a great first episode. Thank you for listening, y'all.
So excited. And stay tuned, folks, because this is essential to the Kalamazoo area. I mean, freshmen come in each year to Kalamazoo from all around the world and country who want to get involved but don't know how and are either too scared, don't know or anything. And this is for you and for anyone who wants it. Like this is key. This is it's like a scripture that needs to be held and just shown to almost anyone who moves out here.
House show scene cannot survive if people don't go to their shows.
People don't know.
Go to their shows.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so if you're a band, a house, or involved in the Kalamazoo house show scene and want to be on this show, contact me on Instagram at Karen Lars at KARN.LARS, and let's get you on. Remember to bring your earplugs, and as always, tip the touring band.
Yo.
Perfect.